Hi, I'm Chris James, and you're watching A Healthy Alternative. Today, I want to talk about the benefits of Michael, and today we're going to be talking about...
Today we'll be making one of my favorite soups.
Welcome to the JR72 Challenge.
I am Animated Mel, and I am your mental and wellness coach for
As always, perfection is not needed, but consistency.
We must first lovingly accept what is. You can't heal a body you can't.
We're going to bring up your next speaker. That's going to be the wonderful, magnificent Chris James.
If you talk about how much you hate your fat, your body has been working all this time to keep you alive. I don't think anybody in my circle understands impossible. Oh, yeah. Sasha, where you get that butterfly from? You just got, like, you always got a butterfly. I didn't even know you could do emojis on these.
I don't know. I did. I don't know how, but it's there.
That's what's up. Now I got to try and, now I got to find an emoji. What's up, everybody? I hope y'all are feeling good tonight. We have a very interesting show tonight. We're definitely doing something a little bit unique, as we have the lovely Sasha, Tenacious Butterfly, is here. And we're going to be talking about gut health. If you guys watch, if you check out the title, you already know what we're going to be looking at. And I'm going to give Sasha a quick moment to introduce herself for those who just have never heard of her before, never seen her before, don't know who she is. I'm going to give you an opportunity to just introduce yourself quickly, and then we'll kind of get into it.
Absolutely. Okay. Hi, everyone. My name is Sasha Reed. My business is called Tenacious Butterfly. That's the online coaching component of the business. And I also have a wellness center here in Toronto, Canada. So if you don't know me, go and check out the video that I did with Chris back in 2019, where I explained how I healed naturally from stage 4 cancer. So it's possible. Don't believe the hype. But really, I'm just about sharing the knowledge in various different formats, but the knowledge remains the same, that alternative health is true healing, sustainable healing, not temporary band-aid solutions, but sustainable healing. Okay. And so I'm really excited to talk about gut health. I am actually a certified colon therapist. And the more I learned in my journey to heal, the more I realized how much the gut microbiome runs the show. We'll get into that a little bit more. But yeah, my journey was one filled with, I went down the medical route. I did the chemotherapy. I did the stem cell transplant. And I believed all of the traditional medical methods would heal me, right? But that was temporary. I went into remission for a very short time, 6 weeks at first. And then the second time was 2 weeks. And then I was told there was nothing more that could be done after undergoing a grueling stem cell transplant and being in hospital for nearly 6 months, right? So when you go through an experience like that, it forever changes you, okay? And I wouldn't say I'm jaded, because I do believe there is a place for the medical system. If I break my leg, I'm going. But at the same time, I think it's really important that we take accountability for our part in the process. You can't outsource your health. It's just that simple. It's not something that can be just outsourced to somebody else, take a pill and, oh, I'm fine. It doesn't work that way. And the more that you understand about your gut health, the more that you'll actually understand how powerful you actually are. Okay. And it kind of empowers you to want to be an active participant in your health and wellness journey. And that's the aim. And that's what I love about AHA. They're all about bringing you knowledge so that you can actually apply that knowledge into your life and see sustainable changes.
Absolutely. The interesting thing about it is, I think there's a narrative that is not so covert, but there's this narrative that you can't do anything about your health. You really don't have any control over, whether or not you get cancer, or whether or not you get diabetes, or whether or not you get, some type of heart disease, strokes, high blood pressure. Like, there is a narrative that tries to make people believe that you don't really have any control over the health of your body. And it burns me up inside. It is the furthest thing from the truth. As a matter of fact, the truth is you are the only entity that is capable of healing you. Because even if you go to traditional medicine or herbalist or a naturopath, the body is the only thing doing the healing. Everything else is a stimulus to help get the body moving in the right direction, give it resources. But it's really you that's doing the work. And so we have to regain our power. And I think that by practicing different therapies and seeing results, that really does empower us. And I think the topic tonight is going to be extremely empowering because there's so many people that deal with gut issues. So we're talking about bloating, we're talking about constipation. Constipation is so huge, especially in America. There is a statistic that says that most people have anywhere from 10 to 20 pounds of excess fecal matter in their body at a given time. That's how backed up we are. 20 pounds of waste. Like, that's insane. So, Sasha, what type of role do you think the health of your gut and the bacteria plays in properly digesting and eliminating food?
Wow. Well, it plays the majority of the roles, because when you think about it in this way, and let me kind of explain this. Your microbiome, there's like trillions of them in your gut. Okay. Now, in a chronic disease, right? And we're not even talking about constipation, because that can be chronic too, but I'm talking about all of these well-known kind of promoted that you need to take meds for life sort of diseases, like type 2 diabetes, like cancers, like high blood pressure, all of these sort of chronic diseases. Okay. When we look at the gut microbiome of these people that are suffering with these diseases, it is implicated in the onset and progression of the disease. It is not me saying this. This is scientific research. You can actually go and find these statistics, okay? And you will see that they are always implicating the gut microbiome. So that begs the question, okay, so if I am able to change the diversity of that microbiome, does that mean I can change the actual disease that I'm facing? And the answer is yes. The answer is a resounding yes. It's not me saying it, it's scientifically proven again, right? That when you look at the microbiome, what's happening is most people are living this, what I like to call the modern life, okay, where it's go, 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 convenience, okay, and everything is fast and quick and easy. We don't normally grow our food anymore. We're not cooking in the kitchen. We're kind of stopping at a drive-through on the way, or we're missing meals. And that's another thing. There is a very big difference between fasting and starvation and kind of just deprivation. They're not the same thing. And some people get that confused, and that needs to be addressed. Because the thing is, the microbiome is completely dependent on how you live your life. It is, you create your microbiome. The genetic part of it is such a tiny piece. It's all built around what you're doing from birth. Do you know the microbiome is even determined on whether you had a vaginal birth or a cesarean birth? Even that impacts the diversity of your microbiome. So it's like, once you kind of realize that, you realize, hold on a minute, I get to choose now how I grow the microbiome in a way that is advantageous to me, helping me, or destroy the microbiome, and then it works against me. It works against my immune system. But not only your immune system, it works against your neurological ability. So it causes neurological dysfunction. That's where you get the Alzheimer's from. All starts in the gut microbiome, okay? And the dementias. Then when you think about metabolism, people are saying, oh my gosh, I'm obese. Why am I carrying all this weight? I don't even eat that much. I hear that all the time from my clients. And it's not a lie. They're not eating a lot. But their microbiome has been designed in such a way, in the way that they've treated it in the past, that now it holds on to every single morsel of food that comes into the body, because they're so acidic and there's so much gut dysbiosis, which is an imbalance in the gut, that the microbiome is actually working against them. You see that again with autoimmune diseases. So I'm giving you examples of how much the microbiome is running the show. And once you begin to understand, it's like you unlock this whole world. That's what happened for me. That's why I'm able to sit here, and in October it will be 10 years that I am cancer free. And it's because I began to understand how the microbiome works and change things around.
Yeah. That's huge, man. Like, when I was researching, we'll call it Big C, I noticed that the statistics, see, we get caught up on statistics. Jay-Z says men lie, women lie, numbers don't lie, but numbers will lie if you don't understand the thought process behind the statistical data, and if you don't look into how they capture data. But I noticed that when they look at survivors of cancer and other such diseases, but specifically with cancer, they look at a 5-year period of time. So if you are in remission for 5 years, then they basically check you off the list. Boom, you're good to go. That was a success. It just so happens that 5-year mark, to that the next 5 years after that, you have a very harsh decline in the wellness of people that went through traditional treatment. Now, we could say that that's a coincidence, but I think that most of us are wise enough to understand that that was done on purpose. And so our traditional treatments, as it relates to a lot of diseases, don't work nearly as well as the data would suggest oftentimes. And as you mentioned, Sasha, these aren't permanent solutions. The permanent solutions, you have to approach it completely different. So one thing that I heard, and we, AHA, we are known for helping people lose weight. We are we're helping people lose hundreds of pounds as seamlessly and as efficiently as possible. So that's what the public and the community has kind of put us up for. Like, that's what we do, right? So as it relates to losing weight, how important is the health of the gut? Because I know I can help somebody lose weight through fasting, which is incredible. But what about the maintenance? Because a lot of people struggle with maintaining their weight loss. Would it be beneficial to focus on getting the gut health in alignment, maybe even before you start your fasting journey, as like a precursor? Or what's the benefit there?
Okay, so that is fabulous. And you know what? I think that just kind of leads into one of the programs that we've talked about and that we're launching, right? Because when it comes to pre-fasting, okay, there is a prep period that I know you take them through, and that's fabulous. But there is also like this area of when you improve your health at the foundational level, then it will improve your efforts and your ability to fast, because it improves nutrient absorption, right? It improves your metabolism. Oh, hi, Joni. Sorry, I lost my track of thought. But yeah, sorry, I saw that message and I was like, oh, Joni, hi, gorgeous. Yeah, no, literally, it just improves the way you're able to fast, right? Because remember, fasting is a fabulous tool, okay? It's a tool where you're giving your body a digestive break, right? That's what's happening. But at the same time, as you're giving it a digestive break, you're also stirring up a lot of the toxins and stuff that's there. That's getting stirred up, and that's just the reality. Now, for some people that have a great foundational nutritional point, that's not so difficult. But for me, myself, let me give you an example. I had all that chemotherapy. So when I began to do fasting, and I didn't start with you all like with water fasting, I wasn't as brave as that. I started with juice fasting, right? And as I began to juice fast, my body went through what I can only describe as a nightmare, because there was so much toxicity at the cellular level from the chemotherapy that, of course, once I stirred it up, it was like, oh my gosh, to manage to get through the juice fast was so difficult. And that's when I began to learn about the microbiome and learn about, let me heal my gut. Let me love on my gut prior to each juice fast, so that I've filled myself with prebiotics. Hear what I said? Prebiotics. I didn't say pro, I said pre. And the prebiotics feed your good bacteria. so that your body is prepared before you go into the fast. It was powerful. And then I could go longer. I noticed that my fast stopped being 5-day juice fast and began to be 21-day juice fasts, right? And then after that, they became 30-day juice fast. And it became easier and easier. And my health just went to that next level. But having that nutritional foundation was the most important thing. And so I'm going to jump into this program that I've created, presented by AHA, that I am just so thrilled about, guys. Like, honestly, it's one of the programs that I'm probably most proud of in this moment. And the reason being is because I know it's a game changer. It's a game changer for anybody that is serious about wanting true sustainable health. You know, it pairs perfectly with the fasting challenges that AHA presents. It is your kind of precursor then to your fasting schedules and allows you to set a solid nutritional foundation so that when you go into that fast, you're fasting from a place of nutritional balance, true balance, gut balance, and nutritional balance. And so I'm just excited. It starts on May the 5th, and I'm thrilled. I can't wait. Honestly, I'm so excited. I'm counting down the days like it's Christmas. It's a joke.
Yeah, it's exciting. You know, it's funny because with this whole program, the idea of a program, the idea of, you know, helping AHA further deepen their understanding and the detoxification and the health of their gut and all this stuff, it really started from our event we did back in summer, right? So Sasha came. We had an event in Tennessee. It was lovely. Like, it was amazing, right? Like, we had so many people that were interested in what you had to speak about. And obviously, you know, you did some testing, right? You looked at a small subset of our community, and through we call it microscopy. How do you call
Microscopy.
it?
Yeah. Nutritional microscopy.
Microscopy. You were able to see, which is basically being able to see the cells, right? You're looking at the blood, and you're able to see the health of the blood and the health of the cells and things like that. And it gives you just a ton of data. So you came back with a report, and basically this course and what we are doing together is basically fine-tuned for our community and the issues that we're seeing, you know, specifically for our community.
And that's what's so powerful, is because when I came to the retreat, right, I didn't know what to expect. I just thought I'm going to meet all the lovely people that are part of AHA. And I got to speak, and that was fantastic. And I listened to the AHA coaches, and I've learned and gleaned from them too. And it was fabulous. But then when I did the blood, I was kind of, I don't know why I was expecting, but I just expected everyone was going to have great, you know, perfect blood because everybody's in the health and wellness community. That was naive, obviously, but that was what I expected. And then I started to look, and it was like, hold on, there's a trend. There's a trend. There's a trend here. And the trend was not that they eat McDonald's or KFC, because that looks completely different in the blood. The trend was that people are stirring up the pot, but yet there's coming to you originally from a nutritionally depleted place. So that means the toxin level is quite high, because wherever they were coming from, that hasn't come out of the elimination organs properly. And it's not because they're not fasting properly. Absolutely not. I could see that they've been fasting, but they haven't opened up the elimination pathways. And one of the major elimination pathways to start off with is the gut. You've got to get things out. Otherwise, they ferment. And you hear me talk about it all the time. Well, maybe not on here, but in my center, I talk about it all the time. Disease and disorders cannot thrive in an alkaline environment. But you have to clear the gut to become alkaline. Forget it. You cannot just become alkaline. You have to clear. That's why in my center, which is called the Alkaline Wellness Center, we focus on gut health. There is a whole dedicated section to colon therapy, because I know the power of clearing your gut.
I will say that you know, and Stephen puts his business out there. You guys have probably heard him talk about this, but Stephen dealt with, you know, gut issues, but it wasn't just Stephen, it was also John and also Shell. So from what's interesting is even though we are the ones kind of pioneering the health movement in this community, our coaches also deal with very similar issues as the rest of the community. And what it really shows me is that through our processed eating, right? We're eating all these processed foods. You know, a lot of us are being born through cesarean births, which is like, for the most part, it's a scam. I don't want to get, I don't want to get in trouble. I don't want to get in trouble, but when you look at the whole process, it doesn't really make sense. But Stephen was doing some really in-depth research, and I mean, he mentioned that with that particular procedure where you're getting, pulled from the mother's womb and not being born vaginally, and you touched on this, you can actually get microorganisms from the doctor or from the nurse that pulls you out, right? Like, imagine how disruptive. So let's think about these microorganisms. So you're getting your first, you're getting your immune system from your mother as you go through the vaginal canal, and that's going to kind of start the microorganisms, and it's going to kind of like tailor, okay, because your mother's eating certain things, she's drinking certain things, so it's an environment that your body is adapting to from day one. Exactly. Imagine if you adopt an environment from a completely different culture, or from a different person, or from a different race, and then but you're going to live in the environment that your mother is cultivating at home. She's cooking, she's feeding you her breast milk, and then you don't have the microorganisms that you need to properly break down the foods that you eat, because you've adopted, a microbiome from your doctor. Exactly. Right? Like, it gets really, really deep. And then another thing, because as I was thinking about the title of this talk, and really just like, we got to nail down the importance of the microorganisms in the gut. When you do a round of antibiotics, right? Like a 7-day round of antibiotics, which seems super harmless. Like, we use antibiotics like it's a Tylenol or just an over-the-counter. You know what I mean? Like, it's not a big deal. Most people have had antibiotics. But, yes, they have. But what we don't understand is that antibiotics, anti meaning against, bio meaning life. So we take these medications that are against life, they go and eradicate all the microorganisms. It's not like it just kills the bad ones. It kills them all. And then you have to think, they don't always come back, especially if you have a small population of niche microorganisms. You're not really taking good care of them in the first place because you're not eating the right foods. You're eating McDonald's and stuff. And then you go and nuke them with an antibiotic, and you lose them. You can lose them forever.
It alters them. You alter the microbiome diversity in your gut. And that's the problem. You see, the thing is, and I wonder if I don't know if you can see the picture here, but I'll talk it through even if you can't see it. So, for example, this is a picture of the microorganisms, okay, that we look at under the microscope. Now, I'm just going to talk it through. I don't know if you can see it, but on one side, you have the regulatory phase, okay? This is when you're healthy. Then you have congestion down here, and then you go into degeneration. Now, I'll move this out of the way for a second. The whole point is you're meant to have a variety, a diverse type of microbiome, right? There's trillions, so they're not all the same kind. They're different, and they're different for a reason. However, when you eat a certain way, or when you take antibiotics, it alters the diversity of those microbiome. You're actually altering yourself, and you don't actually understand that. You're not looking at it in that perspective, because you're like, you know what? I've got an ear infection. I need an antibiotic. But that's fine. If that's what you choose to do, sure. But after that, you should be going into empowerment mode and saying, okay, now how do I get back the microbiome I just altered? What steps am I taking? And that's what we're going to cover in this course. It's not just about me talking at you for 3 weeks. I'm going to be walking you through practical strategies that help me get my microbiome back from chemotherapy and stem cell transplant. Chris just touched on something really, really important. He touched on the fact that, when you come out by a cesarean and the doctor touches on you and those microbes can get onto your skin, because microbes live in and on the skin. Okay. So when that doctor touches you and you get that, and all of a sudden it's not matching your mum and you've got to live with that. Remember, I had a transplant from somebody who I don't know, an unrelated donor. And I'll tell you what happened. It's very important. I developed what they call, and there's a name for it in medicine, of course, called graft versus host disease. I'm the host, and somebody else's cells, through blood cells, were implanted in me, transplanted into me. And my body went through graft versus host disease, which is basically the rejection of those cells, because my body innately knowing those aren't yours. They don't belong to you. It's not a fit. So now you're going to reject it. And in that rejection is when I nearly died. 100 days of just my body fighting, my own immune system fighting against me, because it's thinking that's not yours. But imagine that's happening on a cellular level. So you can imagine that's happening on a cellular level. Imagine what was happening at the microbe level, which is even smaller and minuscule compared to the cells. This is why I say it's so important to understand your microbiome, because there are things that you probably do every single day that you don't know impair your gut health. And you're thinking, but I'm eating better. I'm fasting. I'm working out. All great things. But there are things that you're doing that are still altering your microbiome. Sleeping, not with the circadian rhythm, alters your microbiome. Something as little as being up all night playing computer games or watching Netflix is going to alter the diversity of your microbiome, because our body is designed when the sun goes down for us to begin to wind down. We are due to wake up when the sun's rising. Do you know what I mean? We are in society, so we are changing all of these things. A lot of people are working night shifts. They can't help it. That's financially what they're doing, but it is altering your microbiome. So it's important for you to figure out, okay, so how can I help myself? Because I can't leave my night job. So what can I do to support it? And that's what we're going to be talking about. Practical strategies that you can implement that, aren't going to cost you an arm and a leg, that you can actually do and do successfully over a period of time to improve your health and then improve your fast.
Yeah. I see in the chat, Erica mentioned hearing this after I just completed a 5-day antibiotic treatment. That don't be discouraged, right?
Like, no, that's real life. Listen, we've all done antibiotics.
We've all been on it. I've had them. You know what I mean?
Too.
Like we before we understand where our mainstream medical practices kind of where their downfall is, like before we truly understand that, we all go there. It's really the only option that's being promoted to us. What's important is to understand when to use them and when not to use them so that we can make better decisions, right? Sasha, you mentioned earlier, like we have nothing against your doctors, your MDs. They have a very important job.
Yes, they do.
You have a physical trauma, you need to go to the doctor.
Absolutely.
And Absolutely. The crazy thing about it is, like, that's how it's always been, right? MDs were for trauma care. The problem is Rockefeller decided to bolster the medical doctors for whatever reason, for his evil purpose, whatever, and really push allopathic medicine and push out the wellness practitioners. And that happened very systematically, because you also got to consider that you have the pharmaceutical companies that are funding the colleges that Rockefeller really founded, the educational system that he founded. And then you've got this pharmaceutical company that's continuing to fuel that system. And the wellness practitioners are getting pushed out. They're constantly getting pushed out. Even when it comes to like your insurance, insurance will typically cover you for, if you go to the hospital, a traditional medical doctor, you still got to fight with them, but that's usually what they're going to cover. A lot of times they're not going to cover you getting acupuncture. Sasha,
It's true.
Go ahead.
A lot of my clients, right? They come to me and usually they pay out of pocket because my stuff is not covered by the benefits, right? However, they see the value, and it's I have to speak on behalf of a lot of the MDs because a lot of them are actually seeing the benefit of integrative care. So they do their part and then they actually refer to a functional practitioner, a wellness practitioner. A lot of them are saying, you know what, get a health coach because I don't have the time to sit with you and, you know, map out what you need to be doing. I've got 5 minutes before my next patient comes. So tell me your symptoms. I'll do this, and then you should go somewhere else to get that support. So they are beginning to see it has taken some time, and there are still some that, you know, are not there. But I'm confident that the more the message and the truth gets out, that people are not powerless in the face of their health, the more the MDs will also get on board because they're people too. And they have people that they care about in their family that they don't want to see get ill. You know, I have nurses who are my clients. I have paramedics who are my clients. So it's getting there, but it's taking time because oftentimes in those facilities, such as hospitals, outpatient clinics, and things like that, they develop a mechanism which allows them to differentiate between the client, the customer, the patient. Because if they really felt everything that they see come through the door, they go mad. So they develop a shield that stops them from seeing you as a person and almost like a number.
Right.
So I have empathy for them in one sense, but at the same time, don't play with your health, guys. The reality is they are there for certain things, but you need a team, a wellness team. That's what you need. And that's what I have. You know what I mean? It's really important that that's what you have, because your health is one of the most important investments you'll ever make in your life. When I was told that my health was not there anymore, truly, and I'll say this to you, I didn't care how much money I had in the bank. I did not care what my car looked like, my house looked like. I'm telling you now, this is the truth. I didn't care what my hair looked like, which is a lot, saying a lot. But I didn't, because all I cared about was I need my health. And I invested. I don't even know what I invested, because it was like, I don't care what it takes. I want my life back.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't want anyone to get to that place. And that's why this course is awesome, because typically my courses they're not expensive, but they're not the level that this course is. And I feel proud because we've managed to create it in a way that it offers superb value at an accessible price to match what AHA represent, which is accessible for everyone. And that's a beautiful thing. That makes me feel proud to be a part of it.
Absolutely. And I feel proud to be able to help facilitate it. And, you know, it's been my goal to be able to bring people such as yourself on as coaches and consultants and really work with our community to help further bolster. Because I'm one of those people, I do like to delegate. I do not know it all. I don't want to know it all. I don't want to do it all. I'm not one of those people. You know what I mean? People tell me, when people tell me in the comments sometimes, Chris, stay in your lane. Listen, I'm always in my lane. I just have multiple lanes. You know what I'm saying? Some people don't like some of the other lanes I'm in. I do have multiple lanes, but certain lanes I don't belong in, and I will stay out of them. For those who are just tuning in, we're here with Sasha Reed. If you guys have never seen the interview between Sasha and I highly recommend that we've done several interviews at this point, but Sasha was diagnosed with stage 4 cancer and she almost died. And so through that whole process of basically regaining her own health through her, I mean, you obviously had guidance, but you did the work, because nothing worked through the mainstream methodology. I mean, you did all the special treatment, nothing worked. And now you have a facility where you're a cancer coach, you're a certified colon therapist, a certified nutritional microscopist, microscopy. Microscopic.
It doesn't matter. Either way, I look at blood for a living.
So this Sasha is certified. She is a professional, and also she's been through the fire. So,
and to be honest, that matters more. You know, like I'll be honest with you, all of the certifications, right? They're great, and I did them because you know you have to do them. But
right.
the truth is, I learned more as I was going through it, because that's what got my hunger to even go and study. Think about it. I was fighting for my life, guys, my life. And I had babies. They weren't babies. They were like 6 and 8. But the point is, I had children and they were my why. And it was like, I'm not bowing out. No way. So I went through learning about my body through desperation. That's the truth. And after that, it became, I was hungry for the knowledge. You know, like there was almost like a fire in me. I just need to know more. I want to know more. I need to know more. And when people were chilling and hanging out, I was picking up books and trying to find more information. And I honestly, maybe it was an obsession at one point because I was never going back, if that makes sense. You know, when you've come so far, you just refuse to go back. And I thought, that's not an option. Turning back is not an option. So if it's not an option, how do I move forward? How do I get even healthier? How do I lift my level of health to that next level? How do I get there? And yeah, I ended up studying. And then when you look at blood, if you ever get a chance to see, if Chris ever invites me back for the next retreat, and you get to see your blood, then you will see that it is incredible. You are incredibly, wonderfully, uniquely designed, okay? And your body has everything that it needs in order to clean up the terrain and move from acidosis to alkalinity. It's what your body wants to do. The only organ in your body that should be acidic is your stomach. So, you know, your body is naturally trying to get there all the time. It's always trying to find homeostasis, always. And once you realize that, and you can see it on a cellular level and a microscopic level, it's like you realize, I'm not fighting, my body's not fighting me, I'm not broken. I just need to work with it. I need to understand how it's designed to work and work alongside it. And that's a beautiful space. Once I realized that, it was like a light bulb moment. And I knew that I was going to live. I knew that I was going to thrive. And I just thought, I need to tell everyone. I need to tell everyone. I need to tell everyone. And that was it. And that's how the business came about. And that's why I love what I do. I feel blessed every day to work with clients. And people come to me and sometimes, you know, they've been down the medical route and they feel like there's no hope now. You know, like they've done all of that and it's doom and gloom. And then they come in here and they see me laughing and joking. And I'm like, yeah, you're good. And they look at me and they're like, how come you're so confident? And I'm not even confident. And I say, because it's not us. This is not me and you thing. This is the way we are designed. It is a design. You know, like when a car's designed a certain way, it doesn't matter. It's designed that way. And that's what it is. Your body is designed a certain way. You just have to work with the design. And the gut microbiome is an integral, critical part of the design. Once you understand that, and you can actually begin to support the diversity of that, it's a game changer, guys. And you can back later.
I'm gonna tell y'all something that some of you probably know. So first of all, we have more foreign microorganisms in our body than we do have human cells. So we're more, right? We're more alien or whatever you want to kind of call it.
Bacteria. We're more bacteria.
More bacteria than we are human cells, right?
Exactly.
Now there was some interesting research that I don't know how long it's been going on, but I heard about this probably about 10 years ago when I started researching for myself personally. There is a company right now that will pay you up to $160,000 a year to send samples of your feces.
Oh, I know about that. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
It's becoming a thing now, but this is not new. This is old. They've been doing this for a long time. What do you think they're getting from the feces. What they're trying to do is get diversity from the bacteria in people's feces and give it to sick people who don't have the diversity. Right.
So that happens with autism. They're doing that with autism right now. They're actually piloting this test. Okay. So with autism, they're taking fecal matter from various different people. It's called a fecal transplant. Okay. And they're transplanting that fecal matter because of the diversity, which is actually changing the neurological dysfunction from these autistic children and things like that. They're actually piloting that. That's a clinical trial that's happening right now. So it's just so interesting that you mentioned that. I had to jump on that bandwagon and tell you that because it's real. It's happening. And what you don't understand is you have the power to do that for yourself. You don't have to outsource it. You can actually change your microbiome yourself. It's a process, but it's a process that's doable. You can do it.
And it's necessary, right? Like you need to learn how to do it yourself because these are treatments and different things. If you don't understand the cause and effect, if you don't understand why you don't have the diversity that you should have, or if you don't understand how you're killing off the diversity that you do have, like if you don't know that antibiotics are impacting the diversity, like if you're just unaware, you're going to keep making the same mistake. And no one's teaching you this, right? It's not like the doctors are teaching you, hey, don't do X, Y, Z. I mean, they'll make they're going to make a suggestion here and there.
Yeah.
But the education is minimal at best. What we are doing is we are filling that gap. So look, I've got some questions here. I see people, they're kind of like, my son just had surgeries, a skin graft on his foot using skin from his thigh. Antibiotics were needed so no infection was set in on his burn injury.
And that's fine, Sheila. But after that, I would say to you, now's the time, if that's healed and everything, now's the time to start him on some probiotics. And not just any old typical probiotics. This is important. There are, just like with all things, there are different quality of things. Okay. Now, there are often when you go to a health food store or somewhere like that, you're going to see 30 billion, 60 billion, 90 billion, all fine and dandy. But what they don't say and what's not in the fine print is it needs to be kept in the fridge. Okay. Remember, when it goes into your body's not a fridge. One. And two, which to me is the crazy part, it doesn't start working until you've been taking them for 3 months.
Wow.
Why are we going to do that? So I recommend a type of probiotic, which I'm going to be talking about in the course, okay, that I've taken myself and watched and seen changes in my microbiome under the microscope. So it's proven, not just hearsay, that gives you 500 trillion. So not 500 billion, not your 30 billion, your 60 billion or your 90 billion, but 500 billion. That's half a trillion, right? And remember, there's a trillion microorganisms in the body. So that's giving you a lot of diversity.
Yes.
That's what we want. And it starts, kicks off in 3 days. You see the change in 3 days already beginning, and you take it for 6 days and you're done. And you're done.
Wow. So we're talking about you're going to get more benefit quicker.
Exactly. So you don't have to be popping pills for 3 straight months.
Right.
And if you've got a child, you don't want them to be on things like that for 3 straight months. You don't really want that. You know what I mean? And what I like about it is you can open it and pour it in water and give it to your kid in a drink. In some water, right? And that's what I do if my kids ever have antibiotics. They rarely do, but if they do, then that's my option for them because I want the quickest result to clean up that microorganism.
So
and also go in the fridge. It's room temperature because your body's room temperature.
And I have noticed that they do require some to be in the refrigerator, and I never thought about that. I do know that oftentimes you could take those probiotics, and basically they only work while you're constantly putting them in your system. It's like one and done. You know what I mean? It's not like you're getting the colonies. You're not getting the systemic change that you really think or that you really want to happen. And that could
And
be a
also,
combination.
sorry to cut you, Chris. There is also some of these probiotics have human strains, which begs the question, well, which human and why?
Mm.
Where's that coming from? So you have to kind of look at that as well. And they're not, like I said, they're not all equal. Some have dairy. Well, why would you have dairy in a probiotic? That's inflammatory. That's going to create more problems with the microbiome because it's going to create systemic inflammation. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Then you have soy. Well, a lot of soy is genetically modified. That can also cause inflammation on cellular level, right? And some of them have yeast. Well, yeast creates fungi. Fungi tears up the microbiome. So we have to look at all of the different things when you're purchasing probiotics, and that's another reason why I want to educate people so that they're not walking around trying to be healthy but not having the knowledge. Because I was there once, and I know what that feels like when you're trying to do better, but you don't have the information, so you're making mistakes as you go, trying to wing it. You don't have to wing it. I already did it.
That's the beauty of, you know, working with somebody. And this is why people, it's like we will spend money on any and everything except our wellness. And we got a problem with it. Like you'll spend more money on a toaster oven, like a really nice toaster oven, than you would dare spend on something that's going to give you knowledge, help you. And it's the crazy thing about it is, okay, you got an issue, you're constipated, you've been living with it for 40 years, cool. Maybe you're used to it, fine. Are you going to have severe issues later on down the road if you don't already? Yes, they're going to compound, but maybe that's your decision. But at least get the information to share with your children and the lineage that's going to come through you. Like, it's important. Why would you set them up for failure? You know what it's like to wake up crampy and gassy and bloated, and you've gotten used to it. You're dull to it, fine, whatever. But like, it's important for us to educate our children and our families so that they don't have to go through this. And also, you can start inspiring them to have a certain lifestyle before they ever veer off course. And then that way, it's like second nature for them. Like, they understand what they need to eat, what they need to stay away from, what they can kind of have a little bit of sometimes. And if they get into a certain situation, let's say an accident or, you know, whatever, you get an infection and you need to take the antibiotics, they'll at least understand the impact that has on their body and what they need to do to then resolve that so they don't have issues down the line. Because as we spoke about earlier, the health of your microbiome in the gut, or just holistically, is paramount to your overall health. Like, it's not like you can have a messed up gut microbiome and then just be healthy. Like, that doesn't.
It doesn't work like that. It doesn't. And
work.
If you look, I've got some stats here. I just want to give you them. So the lifestyle diseases, okay, and we're just going to use the 3 countries that I know of. Okay, so we've got 44% of Canadians have one lifestyle disease. 12.9 have 2 or more. In the US, 51.8% have one lifestyle disease. 27.2 have 2 or more they're living with, okay? And in the UK, it's 42% have 1 and 15% have 2 or more. Those are my 3 stats, right? Now, why I'm giving you those stats is that started in your gut. That started in the microbe level. That lifestyle disease that has now been able to be diagnosed, that's where it began. Before it became inflammation, which they say is, the beginning of disease, which is not, is toxicity. It's toxicity and an acidic terrain, right? So that began at the microbiome level, and then it manifested into symptoms that were able to be diagnosed. So if you began to change your microbiome, and if you have loved ones, friends, co-workers, children, right? Imagine having that knowledge and being able to be that person that can share the knowledge and change how they currently are living their life. I'm sorry, but we need to be a world or a population of people that think like that. It's not just about you. Even if you feel like I can manage it, I'm living it for so long, it's not just about you. It's about the people that are around you. If you have a way to change their current situation and improve the quality of their life, that's your responsibility. I'm sorry. We need to be our brother's keeper, our sister's keeper. We need to live like that. Be the change you want to see. That's how I feel. I don't stop sharing. I have a 20-minute free consultation on my site. People call me and I give them information, and it costs me nothing but my time. Okay? And why? Because I want to be the change I want to see. And if I give that information and it's valuable and they can pass that on to somebody else, it's like a domino effect. That's my legacy. Sharing the knowledge. That's Chris's legacy. Thousands and hundreds of thousands of people have been affected by his videos. Ones who probably never even meet. But by sharing, you're creating that. And why? Just because you're a participant or an AHA community member or just somebody watching YouTube, why is that not your responsibility too? It is. It is your responsibility to acquire that knowledge and pass it forward. Give us gain. Give us gain. That's what it's about.
Each one teach one. Look,
exactly.
we are fighting against a system and a group of people that are they're doing things to us on purpose, and they're making our quality of life low. There's so much suffering in this world right now that just doesn't have to exist. Is there going to be suffering? Yeah. And no one's talking about a utopia. No one's talking about life being perfect. I'm the first one to tell you that you need friction in your life. Like it's a part of a balanced lifestyle to have friction. Things don't go right. We need that. But why do we have to die at 55 of a heart attack? Like, why is that part of it? Like, who said that piece has to be part of it? You know? So Sasha, I want people are in the chat. They trying to figure out like when they can get started. So we're gonna go ahead and drop the information. What I want you to do is we're gonna tell them maybe like some highlights of what they're going to learn in the course. Like what are some of the main?
I've got the roadmap here. I actually have the roadmap on my screen.
You got it.
So
okay.
I will tell you. Okay.
Cool.
So
I'm gonna put the link in the chat for y'all.
Okay, so it's split up over 3 weeks, okay? And it's 2 calls a week, Sunday evening, 7 p.m. CST, and Thursday evening, 7 p.m. CST. Don't panic. If you're busy on those days, it's okay. Everything is going to be recorded and in the group while the group is open. So you will have that opportunity to watch the recordings. But if you can attend live, I would love you to. The reason being is it's interactive. It will be on Zoom. So I'll be seeing your lovely faces if you want to come on camera. And if you don't, that's okay too. But it will be live. I will be talking with you. I'll be asking you to drop your things in the chat. I'm going to ask you questions. It will be like a 1 for yes or a 2 for no. Just because I want that engagement. I want to feel like you're getting what you want out of this course too. Okay? So that's the setup. Week 1, we're going to be covering what's the gut, what organs are part of the digestive system, understanding the microbiome and their power in more depth than we did tonight, learning how you can influence your microbiome, examining epigenetics, right? Looking at your microbiota, discovering preventative power of the nutrigenomics, which most people don't talk about, but we're going to talk about that, and exploring the role fasting has on your microbiome. Because it's a very interesting topic that you'll really enjoy. And then week 2, we're going to be going through some questions. This is where you get really interactive, right? I'm going to be asking you some questions that you'll get, and you're going to come back to me with those answers, and we're going to break up your answers so that you can begin to see mindset-wise how and why you haven't been doing the right things about your microbiome. And we're going to change it. We're going to rewire your brain, which is all part of the gut-brain axis, which is what week 2 is about. It's going to have some practical strategies and some quizzes there. Okay, we're going to investigate the gut-brain connection, review your vagus nerve, which is super important for the parasympathetic. Wow. Yeah, we're going to consider the microbiome's impact on your mental health because it has a huge impact on mental health. Okay, and then we're going to delve into the microbiome and your hormone connection, both male and female. Okay, and then again, just like I mentioned, we're going to execute those strategies for rewiring the brain. And then week 3 is our final week where we're going to look at gut inflammation, what is leaky gut, how to address it, how to find it, you know, before the doctors do. So
that's what you want.
And then you're going to implement my 5 R's, which I'm not going to go into now, but they are going to change the game for you. And we're going to create, design together and initiate an action plan for you. Because you're not going to leave this course just getting information and that's it. You're going to sit on it. I don't work like that. I'm very much a proactive person. Yeah. And you are going to be set action steps that you personally are you going to be taking. Okay. And then you have the option at the end of week 1 to either book a one-to-one with me. That's up to you, right? That's separate from the course, but you can if you want to follow up. Or if you're currently working on one of the AHA coaches, you can take that action plan to your AHA coach who will support you in completing those steps. All right. So that's where we are. And that's what it looks like. And the last thing will be the natural gut remedies and, you know, supplements and stuff like that, because you need some things that you're going to be putting into the body. And I've got some reading lists as well, because for those people that love education and just want more after the course, I do have reading lists of really good books that, you know, you can listen to on Audible or you can read, but I'd like to give a little bit of homework that you can take on if you want to.
Yeah, for those of us who really love learning, you know, gotta read the book.
I like to provide that.
You know, for
that's
me,
not obligatory at all.
Right. It's extra, right? But that's the value proposition. I mean, if you guys like, wait until you guys hear the price, because for everything that you just talked about, like that is the most in-depth gut course that I have ever heard. Okay, because people typically talk about gut health more surface level. They may mention that it has an impact on your hormones, or you know, the chemistry of the body, or like really your decision making, like depression and things of that nature. But to really have an in-depth understanding of when I eat XYZ, or if the gut is in, you know, this particular microorganism is high or low or off balance or whatever, how's that going to impact me? It helps you understand not just what to do, but the importance of what to do and why. Like, why are we doing this?
We're going to be talking about gene expression. The epigenetics is the gene expression. We're looking at
huge.
the genome, right?
That's huge.
What we're looking at.
Yeah. So, Sasha, one of the main things that we wanted to make sure to do with your course is integrate it seamlessly into our schedule. We've got the R72 coming up right after. So for those of you who just finished, we just finished the 5-2 Blitz. Okay. A lot of people talking about what they want to do next, what's the next steps, and people in between our challenges, people are always asking us what's next. So the way we've set this up is that you guys can go right from our challenge into this gut health class, this course, complete that course in its entirety, and then start the next R72 challenge, which is going to be launching in late May. So we are going to be working with you all over the next year to do course. We're going to focus on a particular area or system of the body with Sasha. Then we're going to do our challenge. And we're going to just keep going like that. And the goal here is for those of you who have been yo-yoing, right? You've been losing 20 pounds here, 30 pounds there, then gaining 20 pounds back, gaining 10 pounds back. We're finally going to put an end to the yo-yoing, because that bothers me. I want to make sure that you guys have the tools to eliminate the yo-yoing. It's up to you. You got to do the work. But we're going to provide a suite of courses, tools, and knowledge to help you guys accomplish that. Also, for those who have been on your weight loss journey for a while and you've been making strides, maybe you hit a plateau, right? Maybe you're not losing as much, or you're having new problems, because as you mentioned earlier, Sasha, a lot of people, they're doing the work with the fasting, but their elimination pathways are clogged. So that causes new problems to flare up, right? Exactly. We're going to help smooth out those edges. And I'm just so excited to get the feedback, because people absolutely loved you at the event, and I already know what's going to happen with this class. So you guys are getting a secret membership area. You're going to get 2 live streams a week. They are interactive, and the replays will be available. You're going to get PDF guides. You're going to get training materials. You're going to get the opportunity to go and do your own research. You're going to get book referrals. You're going to get homework. You guys, and Sasha is a cancer coach. right? So she doesn't play. Like, she's gonna have y'all working, okay?
Listen, I'm all about cellular regeneration. Okay, this whole program that AHA is presenting to you, alongside and kind of slipping in between the challenges to prepare you for each challenge, is all about you regenerating on a cellular level. It's been broken up because that's the best way to deliver it in order to fit the schedule and to kind of get you ready for each challenge. Okay, get you hyped for each challenge. But what it really, if you took the program just out of the sequence, it's a cellular regeneration program that I often take people through, but it's been customized for AHA's community, right? Based with a focus on how to get the most in the shortest time frame. Okay, because I can deliver this course and it can take 6 months. Do you understand what I mean? Just running weekly. But I have cut it up and I've diced it and sliced it to make sure that you get the best in the 3-week schedule. Okay. And then anything else that you need is where you go to your coaches. And you've got phenomenal AHA coaches that will walk you through anything that you need to do around this. And they have access to me anytime as well to ask for anything if they need it. So this is, to me, it's exciting. It's exciting because this time next year, when we are completing the 12 months, I intend to see testimonials that are not just I lost weight, but I reversed X. Right. I reversed this. You know what I mean? The doctor gave me that diagnosis, and boy, record time. They're calling it a spontaneous this. You know what I mean? This is what I want to see, guys. This is what it's about. It's about really reclaiming your health and reclaiming your life. That's what it's about.
So Sasha, when does the course start? What is the cost of the course? And I will be putting a link here in the chat for you guys who are ready to sign up.
Okay, so the course begins on Sunday, May the 5th. That's a week on Sunday, I believe. Is that right? Yeah. Wow, it's coming. Woo, it's coming.
It's coming.
And it's $119 dollars. That's USD dollars. And what else did you want to know?
That was it. I'm putting the link in the chat. So we've pretty much gone over.
Guys, I'll be honest with you. $119 is a steal. And you would never get that price, not from me, without AHA. Without Chris, it's just not happening. I'm telling you the truth.
She's definitely telling the truth.
I am. So.
Listen, we appreciate you. We've been planning this course for half a year now. Okay.
Yep.
So this isn't, we didn't just throw this together. We had some back and forth. We had multiple conversations, like, and as Sasha, like, what I love is that you were like, you didn't say we can't do this. You never said we can't do this. This isn't going to work. You said, okay, let me figure it out. Let me figure out how we can make this make sense for everybody. And so, we got $119 for everything that we talked about tonight. But the feeling that you're going to get, right, from implementing and seeing the results. And then I'm very curious to see what you guys are going to feel like in the challenge after going through Sasha's program and implementing.
For me. And I think, right, guys, I'll be honest with you. I am almost ready to say I'm going to join the challenge with you all, because I want to see what you're going to feel like too. And I want to actively be in the community, like in that challenge, seeing everybody say, whoa, it's shifted.
Yeah.
Hold on. Germ theory is pseudoscience, and definitely antibiotics are a complete non-solution. Oh, who's that? Victor. Okay, Victor. I agree. I don't know what to say other than I agree.
I actually teach a course in our 40-day wellness class on germ theory.
Love it.
Yeah, I learned a lot about germ theory, and there's some good books. If you guys want to look a book up, it's called Goodbye Germ Theory. Can't remember the name of the author, but that's a great book to start with. I think it's on Audible, actually.
Awesome.
And you can start to understand the pseudoscience behind it. It was just a theory, and it really, in my opinion, it was really a marketing thing. Like, it was a marketing because the Louis Pasteur, who helped kind of usher in this germ theory, he also was an inventor. He created like microscopes and different devices to be able to see microorganisms. And so
I love
it's
it.
interesting. It's interesting when you understand from a big picture standpoint. You don't
I
just
think I talked about that at the retreat. When I did my presentation, I mentioned germ theory versus terrain theory. And that was the game changer for me. Like, honestly, in my journey, right? When I went to get my blood looked at by Dr. Denton, or Mr. Denton, and when I went to look at it, it was like a moment of just clarity when I realized that, hold on, the germs aren't against me. Like, hold on, what? It's like, it was like, pow!
yeah.
And it sets you free because you realize, right? All these years you've been scared of germs. You've been taking all of these different meds to suppress, right? But the germs aren't attacking you. You don't just wake up and bam, you've got cancer because of germs. That's not how it works. That's just not how it works. It's a metabolic disease that happened from your lifestyle, from, you know, the environment, your lifestyle, the stress levels, your emotional toxins, the inflammation responses, the lack of immunity, the lack of nutrient absorption, your gut microbiome. There were so many little factors that took place, but it wasn't germs. So, you know, when you understand that, it's like a freedom. I always say, this is my favorite statement: awareness gives you choices, and choices give you freedom. So the minute you become aware and you're no longer like walking with, you know, blinkers on, you get to choose, because now you know, so you can decide. And once you get to choose, then you ultimately have freedom, because you're no longer living a false interpretation of what health is, what you can do for yourself, and it just frees you up. You don't feel afraid. With cancer, it comes with so much fear. With disease, it comes with so much fear. There's so much fear because you think, oh man, I've got to be on metformin for the rest of my life. I've got diabetes. No, you don't. You do not. It's a lie. And that's a popular thing to say, but it's true. It's a lie.
Yeah, it is. It's fear mongering. Someone had asked if they can, I guess, get you to take a look at their blood. Do you offer that service through the mail or?
No. And the reason why, I'll tell you, it would, the blood wouldn't be right. Because when I take the blood, we take it on a microscopic slide, right? It's very delicate. And that slide is then covered with a cover slide, okay? And then it's placed directly under the microscope. I don't keep my slides for more than 12 hours. Some people do keep them for like a couple of days. But personally, I find that I like to look at the blood straight away. And then maybe later on, I'll go back and look at it after it's settled. But I don't leave it for days. I'm not a person to leave people's blood hanging around. So yeah, I don't really do that. When it comes to the mail, I just think it would ruin the integrity of the slide. I don't think it's a great way to take the blood. But I do intend to do a pop-up in the US at some point. I don't know when. I haven't figured it out, guys. I do know I've had a lot of interest, a lot of people kind of emailing me and calling. So I know it's something that I've got to organize. And hopefully, God willing, I'll organize it with AHA.
That's okay. That makes sense. We'll get some people together.
Pop-up of some sort. Yeah.
Here's a cool comment. Doesn't the microbiome affect blood pressure? Yep.
Absolutely. I've got a whole in the course. I have a whole document. I do believe it's 3 pages, but it has just lists of all of the different diagnoses that are affected by your gut microbiome. So you won't have to guess. You'll be able to go and look. Go, oh, yeah, that's me. Oh, that's my mom. That's my cousin. And then you know that once you gain that knowledge, you're able to help all of those people.
Yeah. Oh man, this has been good. It was better than I could have imagined, but that's how it always is. Like I always have an idea in my head how things are gonna go, and I love exceeding expectations. I think the audience will agree. people are getting fed because it's new information. This is something different, right? Like I said, Steven's been learning and doing his own research and working on himself, but you come with a different level of experience and knowledge. You know, you've spent a lot of time understanding the gut, and then the beauty of how you like to put your programs together and the amount of research and tools and things that you guys get along with it. You guys are going to be very satiated, not just for results, but, you know, knowledge that you could pass down to your family. And of course, share with your friends and your love, you know, your husband, whoever, you know what I mean? So many people are dealing with gut issues, constipation, bloating, etc. Like, it's so common.
And mental health issues. Mental health
Oh
issues
my,
is on the rise. And your gut health, your gut microbiome, the health of the microbiome is responsible for those mental health challenges that people are experiencing. And I am tired, so tired of hearing people say, oh, we just need to medicate him, or we just need to medicate her. You need to study the microbiome so that you can understand, so that you can begin to give them things, foods, herbs, supplements, okay, and various different techniques on how they're living their life to shift the diversity of the microbiome. The meds, okay, maybe people need to be on them if they're suicidal for a period of time, but that shouldn't be the continue of the rest of their life. Absolutely not. So they're numb like a zombie. That's not living. That's not how you treat people. Yes, they do cause candida. Candida is also caused by sugar. So if you have a candida flare-up, you need to remove sugar. And our next course is sugar. So if your candida is something you're dealing with, then you definitely want to be in the next course that comes after the R72, because that will be sugar, all things sugar. I'm breaking it down. I'm breaking down sugar with cancer. I'm breaking down sugar with fungus. I'm breaking down sugar with the microbiome. So yeah.
Beautiful.
I'm dealing with CCCA of alopecia, okay, and I keep hearing autoimmune disease or it's genetic. I've had tests done, no autoimmune disease was found. I'm sick of okay, honey, listen. When it comes to alopecia, it's a nutrient deficiency that's actually taking place, right? That's what's actually happening. And we've got to look at your gut for sure, because we need to see if you're absorbing nutrients. Nutrients are absorbed in the small intestine, okay? But what people fail to connect is that there is a process which I'm going to be covering in the first week in the gut, right? We're going to be talking about the organs of the digestive system. Now, you've got the pancreas, which is super, super important for breaking down, okay, enzymes. But then you also have some enzymes that are broken down in the mouth prior to even making their way down to the enzyme. A lot of times people are eating food and they're not chewing their food. And I don't want to start teaching right now, but in that in itself, okay, it misses the enzyme tylan. When you miss that tylan enzyme that's supposed to be breaking down the food, it doesn't send the message to the stomach. So the stomach's not ready to break down when it gets there. And this is where you got like a miscommunication. Think about it as a Chinese whispers. Someone says something else, and then there's a broken person says something totally different. And then the chain's broken. That's what's happening at the digestive system. The digestive system is another word for the gut, the gastrointestinal tract. So they're not two separate things. It's the same thing. Okay. So when I'm saying this, when you're dealing with alopecia, a lot of the times there's a break in that Chinese whisper, right? And we have to figure out where it is before it gets to the absorption so that you're able to absorb nutrients. All right. So
the answer is yes, the course will be good. And also going through a process of trial and error, you know what I mean? And so a lot of times people are looking like, hey, is this one thing going to be the answer to all of my prayers and whatever issue I have? Maybe it will, maybe it won't. But okay, so I will say that you're always looking to build on the knowledge base, you know, like you can't just say, oh, I'm just going to address my microbiome. Like it can't just be that. It can't be, you know, your weight. It can't just be your mental health. You really do have to approach things. I mean, I say approach everything holistically. That's my approach.
And your body's a city. You have to realize, look at it as it's a city, right? You have traffic lights, you have highways. When you look at it in that perspective, you'll understand, right, that you cannot isolate and just focus on one area. So that example of the alopecia, I'll go back to it. we talked about the nutrient absorption, but there may be an immune deficiency, right? And we may have to look at that. And even in looking at that, we may see that there's actually something happening with the follicles of the hair. So you can't just say, okay, is it just that? Yes, it will help you because it's going to give you insight. And knowledge is what you need. Because then from the knowledge, you can decide, okay, now she's told me this, that, and the other. What's my next step to look at?
Right.
Because that's how I healed. It wasn't just everything in one day. Yeah, I've got the answers. I wish that would have been the case. It would have saved me a lot of money. But it wasn't. It was, I'm hungry for the knowledge and I've seen this work. So what do I do now? And what do I do now? And there were things that I did that didn't work because, you know, people give you advice and sometimes they don't know. They just take this, take that. I was taking everything. But you begin to realize what works when you get results more than once.
Right.
Okay. When you do something and the results are sustainable and you begin to see the shift regularly, then you're like, okay, this is working. This is a thing. And that's what we're going to talk about. We're going to talk about things that have worked multiple times, not just on me, because I'm not a unicorn, multiple people and in multiple ways, right? And that's what you're going to implement. And it won't work necessarily for every single one of you because you're uniquely made. You may find that we have to tweak things. And that's where one-to-one coaching comes in because customization can't be done in a group form.
Right.
Do you understand what I mean? But the knowledge can be given in a group form. The questions can be answered in a group form. But there are some things that would have to be taken away and given more time and attention.
And
So
I will say this, that journey of discovery, that process is enlightening in so many different ways. You're going to learn. None of it is a waste of time. It's going to be so beneficial holistically for you, and you are going to be blessed to go through that process because Sasha, even looking at your situation, had you knew exactly what to do off Jump Street, let's say you went to the right person and you knew exactly what to do, you would not have the knowledge base you have now, and you might not have the drive and the passion that you have to start your own clinic. You could be in a completely different headspace. So the journey, the struggle, as people call it, but it's really just the journey, is really a beneficial part that you don't take for granted. Like, enjoy the ride.
I'll say to you, right? Truthfully, what you just said is 100% true. Growing up, my mum's always been like, oh, you're a rebel, right? Because I'm hard of hearing. You know, when those kids that was always hard of hearing, don't touch that and touch it. Right.
Yes.
And so basically, I had to be in that situation. Like, I don't look at my cancer journey and be like, oh my God, why did that happen to me? I'm grateful for it because I had to get to that level of pain to change because I'm stubborn. You know what I mean? And it took something for me to realize, oh my gosh, I'm going to die. If I don't stop this, I'm going to die. And in that moment, there was this like realization that, yo, the rebel needs to just take a seat, several seats, because it's time to change. And in the changing, that's where the hunger came in. That's where the hunger to learn more and more and more. And then the business was a byproduct of that. The business wasn't even the forefront of it. My survival was. The business came as a byproduct of me learning so much that people would ask me questions and I would just give them all this free advice. And no one would do anything with it because my family were like, oh yeah, whatever. And then when they started to see people pay me for it, then they took it on board. So yeah, that's how we got here.
All right. Listen, this has been incredible. The price of the course is $119. As I said before, I put the link for it in the chat. If you guys, it's also for those who are watching on the replay, it's also going to be in the description box or the comment section, you know, whatever. It's going to be available for you guys. You're going to be able to
share with your friends, share with people you care about, tell them about it.
Yes, definitely. Share it, do it together. I think that's, you guys are all going to be in a secret membership area in the AHA community. So it's going to be a small niche group. You guys are going to get opportunity to interact live, ask questions. there's probably not one person in your life. You heard the statistics earlier. 58% of Americans have
I'll
a
tell you, hold
lifestyle.
on right now. It is 51.8% of Americans have one lifestyle disease, 27.2 have two or more. That's
There
not
you
living,
go.
people. That's not living.
Right. So come join us. Get this good knowledge. You're gonna get PDF guides. Sasha, she when she puts a course together, she puts a course together. So I know y'all like downloads. Somebody in the chat was talking about downloads. So get your downloads. This class is going to run right before the
Yes.
R72. So don't worry, you guys will be able to roll right into the R72. But you need to join by May 5th, right, Sasha? We're not taking any latecomers.
Yeah, no, May the 5th is when we're kicking off, because that first lesson is really important. Like, we are jumping in, and I just want you to get in real time that information, because it's like a stepping stone. We've got a roadmap. We are actually driving somewhere over these next 3 weeks. And I'll be honest with you, this is a lot of information, and I have compiled it so that it can be an intensive course.
Okay.
All right. So yeah, I really do want everyone to begin on the 5th. If you really want to be in it and you can't attend on the 5th, you've got the replay. And thankfully the Thursday will be the Q&A. So you'll watch the replay, and then on the Thursday class, that's when you can ask your questions, and I'll get to you and we'll go through them.
Okay. All right, Sasha, thank you so much. You enjoy the rest of your evening. Yo, hit the like button if you guys like this video. For anybody who's new, maybe you've never even seen us before, subscribe. We got a lot of good stuff coming, and we've already built an amazing knowledge base. Hit that link. It's going to be in the comment section or in the description box. We'll see you guys on the next one. Peace.
Bye.